Have you ever felt watch while you were writing alone? You type this scene and you hear someone's opinion in your head and you delete it. They're not even in the room, but they have already changed your story. When you write while anticipating judgment, you stop listening to the story and start managing people's reactions. You soften the scene. You explain too much. You remove the parts that feel too honest. Not because the scene is finished and needs editing, but because you are trying to defend it before you have even written it. And that is where many meaningful scenes disappear. See, your first draft doesn't need to answer every possible criticism. It needs enough freedom to become the story. You can seek wise feedback later. You can edit later. But first, you have to let yourself write with honesty of what's happening in that scene. When I wrote earlier drafts of my novels while living in Nicaragua, there were 8 children, homeschooling lessons, street noise, and constant interruptions. But even when the room became quiet, my thoughts didn't. My fiction carried pieces of real grief, faith, fear, questions that I had lived through. And I worried that if someone read those scenes, they might see too much of me. I kept asking myself, do I have permission to tell this story? But over time, I realized I was asking the wrong questions. Instead of asking, how do I keep people from judging this? I began asking, who might this scene be for? That question changed the way that I wrote. When fear of judgment enters the room, do not try to write for everyone. Return to one character. What is she carrying in this particular scene? What is she afraid to say? What truth is being unfolded through her experience right now? And if you would like to bounce off ideas, join my community in the description below so that we can be an inspiration for one another. Then picture one reader, not every reader, not the person you expect to criticize you. Picture one woman who may recognize something of herself in this character. Maybe she understands the grief. Maybe she has carried the same fear. Maybe she has asked the same questions, but has never known how to put them into words. That is what your character can do for someone. When you write for the crowd, you begin trying to control everyone's reaction. But when you write for the reader, you can focus on creating a truthful connection. Your responsibility is not to make everyone approve of your scene. Your responsibility is to write it faithfully, honestly, and with humility. That reader that is right for that particular scene may enter that scene and realize, I am not the only one who has felt this way. That is why the scene matters. Choose one scene you have been avoiding. And at the top of the page, write, for the one who called me and for the one reader who needs it. Make that your next action step. Then set a timer for 5 minutes. Do not edit. Do not defend the scene. Do not imagine what everyone will think. Ask your character, what are you afraid to say? Then let her answer. 5 minutes, one character, one reader, one honest scene. And in the next video, I want to show you how I use AI created music to enter the emotional atmosphere of a scene and bring what I am imagining to clearer focus. Remember, my friend, you are a reflection of the Creator. So create, and to God be all the glory.